This weekend, we are celebrating the launch of Kill Team 2.0 from Games Workshop, and for that purpose we have all the key ingredients. A copy of the Octarius box set, an Airbnb in Bedfordshire or somewhere like that, a group full of nerds, and a freezer drawer full of assorted crap. Welcome to Battle Camper.
Today started like all good days should, at my local gaming store, Bad Moon Cafe, truly one of my favourite places on this planet. I promise I have not tampered with the next clip at all, it simply came out bathed in angelic light.
I'm just here for my Kill Team stuff. Thank you very much.
So with Octarius collected, it was time to meet some friends and put it and them through their paces. This is where the fun begins. Alright, well maybe this is where the fun pauses for necessary logistics. It would resume when I met up with 4 wargamers in the countryside. You see, I was taking with me months of backdated recycling, and each participant would have 8 hours over 2 days to create a full Kill Team board's worth of terrain using nothing but that junk, their ingenuity, and some modelling tools. Their creations would then be subjected to 3 tests. First, judgment by a professional. It will then host a game of Kill Team in a round-robin tournament, and finally be placed at the mercy of the free market, when I try and sell each lot on eBay to see which can raise the most profit. Before we go any further, let's meet our judge.
Hello there, Battle Campers. Lockie here from Zorpazorp, and as somewhat of an expert in the stupidly insane terrain department, Alex has roped me in to judge this weekend's scenery madness, and I'm super excited to see what the guys create.
That's right, we landed the Zorpazorp. The reason he has nearly 60,000 subscribers on YouTube is because his ambition for massive modular terrain pieces is matched only by his skill to achieve them. He is going to be a tough nut for our contestants to crack. Meanwhile, back in Planet Battle Camper, frankly, we were just struggling to park the van. Once we unloaded a weekend's worth of hobby supplies for 6 people.
5 packets of spaghetti. Is this a good time to mention I don't eat much spaghetti?
After this, we were graced with a visit by this mystery dog, Woody.
What are you doing? Don't go in the house, mate.
Go! Thank you, Woody. It's good to see you.
On the road again.
And so we were ready for 4 wargamers to compete for either the coveted Battle Camper trophy or shameful Battle Camper wooden spoon. This brings us back to the beginning, and the reason why we were in this wonderful corner of English countryside, rummaging through boxes of months-old food waste.
We've got all the classics. We've got egg cartons, we've got milk bottles, we've got our university albums. We then have some actual modelling materials. A vat of PVA, we've got a bunch of cheap sprays, lollipop sticks, washing up liquid to make wash, balsa wood, and we've got cocktail sticks. I've sacrificed a lot to do this, frankly. I've been living off a diet of nothing but Pepsi Max, drinkable yogurts and baked beans for like 2 months now to get this pile of trash.
That's why.
And so in this picturesque corner of tranquil English countryside, did our contest of trash champions commence.
Ready, set, build!
Look at that flurry of activity.
Now when you feel completely unprepared for a job.
This looks pretty fun. Interesting, okay.
Nice.
It looks like the wee.
I contest its old water, and not that necessarily makes
you
the
do the
difference.
sniff test.
Sniff test it is.
Do the final...
So let's meet the contestants. Liv here is not a wargaming enthusiast, but had kindly and bravely offered to help with production and filming. Graham plays a range of Games Workshop, Fancy Flight and independent games.
So you have no plan. Yep.
He's seen here diving straight in with the spray painting merely 2 minutes into the competition. His table now hosting a rudimentary collection of boxes, cans and sprues.
Yeah, it's not working if you're enjoying yourself.
Oh, I see.
So you've sprayed up a box, 2 tin cans. Are these glued together? No, they're just...
No, not yet.
And a shampoo. It's still got shampoo inside.
Oh, just leave the shampoo, mate. It's part of the effect.
It smells amazing.
The second contestant is Chris, who's a veteran wargamer and orc enthusiast. He certainly has the kit-bashing credentials for this contest.
So everyone's sort of marvelling at the moment the fact that Chris has an actual thing 10 minutes in. That's a noticeable, describable thing. I do like it. So this is a water tower.
Yes.
I'm getting very Necromunda vibes from it.
Third up, we have Alan, another long-time veteran, and this time Iron Hands fanboy, He once wiped out my entire 7th edition Seer Council with a single round of shooting from his Thunderfire cannon, and I've never forgiven him. Finally, there's Hayden, who got started with Star Wars Legion and Lord of the Rings, and has only recently dipped his toe in the 40k world with a Space Wolves kill team.
Okay, what is that thing?
I mean, it is actually, I can tell you exactly what this is. This is the aluminium foil tray which a nice quiche used to live in, which I made about 3 weeks ago.
You've really humanised this quiche, mate.
I think it may have been cheese and onion. This is going to be the grand centerpiece of my board. What the plan is, I'm going to put some bubble wrap around here and make it look really sci-fi, and then that's about as far as I've got.
I don't mean to psychoanalyse you, but it sounds a bit like this quiche meant a lot to you and you're trying to bring it, you're trying to make it live again.
And so the players settled in for the first half of their building time, a 4-hour stint which would take them to 8:40 this evening.
Builders, 1 hour is gone. You are 1/8 of the way through.
So Chris is using sprues to make a little tower out of a can. Alan is using sticks to make a little tower out of a can. And Graham, I mean, it was really interesting actually. What he's doing is he's using little sticks and he's making a tower out of a can.
The only person not building a tin can tower was Hayden, who continued to tend lovingly to his mystery quiche tin bubble wrap project.
So the guys have had just over an hour now.
They have.
We've got 3 quite similar builds going on. Graham, he is the second he's like, there's a piece of junk that I want to work with, he sprays it.
So this is interesting. I think this is like, you know how dogs like to urinate on things? When they, as like an ownership thing. I think Graham might be spray painting things as a...
He's claiming them.
Yeah.
It's territorial.
It's interesting because there is no scarcity, especially the things that he's spray painting are like soup cans, which we have about 80 of.
Loads of. Yeah, that's true. Chris, I mean, he is the determination in his eyes. If I
Well, he brought his own extension lead, did you see? 25 metres. Yeah, there's a lot of, and Alan too has brought a lot of his own gear. He got an electric drill out earlier. Should we talk about the elephant in the room?
Hayden and his quiche tin. I think
it could be really interesting. He's... the last thing I saw him do was very carefully put some big bubble wrap around the outside. Now, if that works and it adds this texture, it could be really interesting. I think Hayden's problem is going to be finish.
How do you paint bubble wrap?
That's an interesting question.
Because if you... Okay, there's basically two ways that people are going to paint. Then no one is going to have time to layer in this. And even if you could, the question remains, how do you paint bubble wrap? They're going to either dry brush or they're going to wash. If it's soft, if the substance isn't firm, I don't understand how you're going to get any purchase to do either of those two things.
Outside, everyone was still hard at work, and I caught up with Graham, who'd set himself up wedged between the house and the van.
What we've got here is, ignore that hasn't really, the tub hasn't really worked, but with the Wagamers tub.
So this tub's not worked. Oh no, that paint's come off on my finger. And it's lava. The shampoo has created a lava. There's actual like little bubbles forming.
I think the spray's taken quite well here.
Yeah,
there's
some grass stuck to it on that side,
just as part of the scenery. It's authenticity.
All right, this is what I'm really intrigued by. Yes. So this is industrial.
Yeah.
So professional builders have come into your industrial compound.
It's an Orc compound, probably.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
So that explains the really shoddy craftsmanship.
Yeah, because Orcs are really concerned about lighting, so
yes,
they would have definitely cut out.
Yeah,
I mean,
they would, yeah.
The door. Did you? What's your process? Talk us through your process.
I got the hobby tool and I cut a door out.
It's very nice.
That is my process.
It's very good indeed. And obviously, what's happened here is you've sprayed it and then cut the door out.
Yeah.
Because I can see the bare card. On the inside of the door. Yeah.
Don't worry, that'll be fixed in the final product.
Lovely. I mean, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
There's some more shampoo. There's some more shampoo. It's everywhere. Great. All right. Good.
Yeah.
There was no question that Graham's terrain was quickly taking shape. He decided to capitalise on this momentum by rewarding himself with protracted periods of absence. Meanwhile, Hayden was not allowing himself a single moment to rest.
Okay, so at the moment, Hayden is about to test spray some foam. I thought it would melt. We think maybe it might not melt now. He was correct. This is science in action. Kids, do this at home. Do it now. Steal the spray.
Because it's got loads of holes.
But that'd be texture, as long as the spray sticks. I must admit, I've never seen Zorpazorp spray on a piece of foam directly. Looks like concrete.
Alan, meanwhile, was flying through projects. Unfortunately, I didn't spot that until reviewing the video and may have spotted a slightly confrontational tone for the interview.
We're a quarter of the way through the total time.
Yes.
Halfway through today's allocation.
Yes.
What the fuck? I mean, I thought you were making harsh. Sorry. No, but we've got a collection of sticks.
Yes.
A peg.
Yes.
Where's the beef?
It's here.
Oh, it's right there. Okay, fine. Yeah, no, actually, that's pretty good.
So this is where I've left it
Take it
for
all
now.
back. That's actually quite nice. So what is this? This is like shingles.
So it's plastic. It's plastic sheet to give it a roof that hides the box for being a box. I've stuck it on with PVA glue
Bit of texture.
and tomorrow, depending on what it looks like when it's sprayed up, it's either going to be iron that's been bent and stuck on top, or it'll be canvas. So I
That's
shall
really cool.
paint it to suit.
So we've got like a little pipe coming out the water tower here. That's a very nice touch into a sort of little collector thing here.
And I've also noticed that my engineering on this is completely rubbish. If you have a look on this side, you can see the struts they're sort of in the midpoint.
Okay. I mean,
Hence the chains.
I think potentially, I'm not saying that won't cost you the whole game, but at the same time, perhaps that's not going to be the level of detail that we're working toward.
I left Alan to it and found Chris slaving over a large tub of goo.
So this is polyfiller.
It's a vat of polyfiller.
It's builder's goop, I think that's what it's called.
Right. So this is like this is earthy ground stuff.
Yeah, so it's going to be craters basically. Because I have to chop up some cans like to use for bits.
And so using the ends as so you've masking taped them down.
Yep.
And then you're polyfillering them up to create a set of earthy terrain craters.
Yeah, here's one I did earlier.
That's very nice. I was going to say that is very Blue Peter.
As surprised as I was to see masking tape feature in Chris's build, Graham was determined to push the boundaries of the masking tape medium to whole new levels.
I think I've got some solid ideas, but the execution is beyond poor.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. The masking tape, I must admit, I had high hopes for these walkways. I won't, yeah. I don't know how you're going to paint them.
Oh yeah, shit.
You've tried to get some texture appropriately. You thought like, we'll have a wire link fence along the edge here. And then you put so much tape on it,
You can barely
you basically covered up the entirety of the wire link texture.
I don't know.
So is it safe to say that this is you're close to your final form? Basic structure is pretty much in shape now.
I think, yeah, the basic structure is pretty much in shape.
What's happened here? What's the story in game?
Okay. It is a factory.
Yep.
Yep.
What do they What do they make? What's
Bits and pieces, lots of bolts.
So what's this building here?
So it's a power plant, isn't it?
This is
I don't know. I'll be honest.
Okay, you don't know. So this box here. Okay, because this one. Okay, you've done a door, you've done windows. You've got this sort of stack of something
There's literally
behind it. This is a tub, but this has got some detailing to it. So you've got the edging. This is just an upturned box.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. If there was a story behind what's happened here, if, like, okay, let's say you play Thousand Suns.
Yep.
Thousand Suns are fighting Space Marines here. Why are they fighting over it? What's important about this critical asset?
Well, the Thousand Suns need it. It's they really need it. They just really need it.
Yeah.
I think,
I can see that.
I think in terms of strategic value, I think it speaks for itself.
I left Graham clearly content with both his build and his lore. And so, as the sun set and we entered the final hour of the first day, and with Chris and Hayden working through every minute God sent them, Graham clearly thought that the best use of his time was to sit back, relax, and admire his creation. So this was the perfect time for me to catch up with Chris and his orky goings-on.
So 1 hour to go in the first half. You've got some sort of siding on here.
Yep.
This is just detailing for the building, is it?
Yeah, basically, just like structural stuff.
So how close are you to having like a board's worth of terrain?
I'm still probably a little way away from having like a full board.
So what's your story?
It's basically a little orc village.
No, what's your story?
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Tell me about Chris.
I was born in.
Okay, Orc Village.
Yeah, well, settlement or camp or barracks or whatever the orcs.
It's getting smaller as it goes on.
Sort of
Settlements,
house.
barracks, it's somewhere they've probably been.
An orc crapper. Yeah, so this is going to be like this sort of like, little like hut building. Got this little barricade. That's just around, obviously.
So basically, if the enemy attacks from one very specific direction, they've got it covered.
Exactly, yep.
If from any of the other directions, they're pretty fucked.
No, because they're orcs, and orcs is always, they're the biggest and the strongest. So,
As the sun set and we lost the light, I did enjoy observing this moment of inspiration striking Alan in real time. When the timer finally did expire, it went out with more of a whimper than a bang.
I'm afraid your time is up, Hayden.
After some tidying, I took a little tour around the work in progress table. There was a lot of good stuff, and I particularly enjoyed that Graham's tin can had made it, despite having not been modified in any respect whatsoever.
Cheers.
Really good.
There we go. So pretty common.
After dinner, under the watchful gaze of the Get Wrecked spoon, Chris and I decided we'd finally tear into our Octarius box set and do the world's most succinct, yet thoughtful, unboxing video.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
some planks there, pretty cool.
Everyone loves planks.
Planks, mate.
Mate, he's got planks, yeah, planks. Hang on, so just so everyone knows, we've split this box, yeah?
Yeah.
We're splitting 50-50 the cost.
Yep.
That's your pile of sprues. I feel shortchanged, frankly, but then I get the book.
After this, we decided to have a quick friendly practice game just to brush up on the rules before the tournament tomorrow.
Right, so then our deployment zone is up to hexagon from that, and then also up to hexagon from that. The objective, at the end of each turning point, for each consecutive... Oh, yeah. I do say that. Oh, I was just about to fucking hexagon from that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's spicy out there.
I thought it was a pentagon anyway.
It is a pentagon.
Don't, mate, 'cause...
I don't know shapes.
After we'd nailed that, it was time for bed. And on a cold British night like this, I was pleased to have rented a nice, comfortable Airbnb. Although, of course, I was actually relegated to the van nonetheless. The next morning I woke nice and early, freezing in my low-quality sleeping bag. So I went and had a nice warm shower before remembering that I'd given my towel to Graham to protect the table from spray-painty terrain objects. So after a refreshing session of drip-dry action, I downloaded yesterday's videos and waited for people to gather for breakfast, like seagulls descending on a dropped packet of crisps.
Anyway.
For several days, but tea and coffee at Kerbal. Welcome to Battle Camper Day 2. The time is 9:10. Start now. Woo! Yay! You have only 4 more hours to complete your builds.
And with that call to action began a veritable whirlwind of faffing about. Although the guys did eventually get settled in and stuck into some modelling, including me, I'd felt left out, and so I volunteered myself to build the 6 barricades you can use in a game of Kill Team. This was because I didn't want to use the grey unpainted ones in the core box set, so after applying overly liberal lumps of PVA, I went to catch up on everyone's progress.
So what are you doing?
There's painting in it. Yeah, so these are going to be sort of 2 vats on the end, so I'm going to paint them silver. If I get the right kind of time, I'm going to freehand some sort of vat numbers on them. Ideally, I'd like to get a couple more bits of like scatter terrain in, but I just want to make sure I get what I've got done.
Makes a lot of sense.
And then see if I've got time.
A strategy is forming, I like it.
It sounds dangerously close to a plan, doesn't it?
Mr. Powell? Oh, we've got a proper little frame coming on here.
Little structure, yeah.
Scaffolding, what are you doing?
I'm building scaffolding.
Great, well thanks, cool.
Okay, I've got something resembling a plan. I've decided to spray some stuff and let it dry and then work on other stuff while it dries. So trying to make myself as efficient as possible because I think I'm a bit behind the others. So yeah, I'm relatively confident. I quite like this, the idea with this. So I'm going to create some sort of tunnel and then sort of like some sort of thing where you can climb up over it. So trying to involve 2 different verticalities, as I think you said.
Yes, mate. And I love, the corrugated cardboard just comes together really nicely. Like, what? It does! I'm being sincere. The window.
The window, like what?
The window on this side.
Oh yeah, it is really.
Who lives in here?
You know, it's important. Basically, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that when I go, like, what's the story of your piece? I have no fucking idea.
After enough time judging everyone else, it was time for me and my barricades to go under the microscope.
Undefeated. So you've been playing your own game
Yep.
for about approximately 50 minutes.
Yep.
How's it going?
All right. It's easier than all these guys are moaning about.
So these guys have to make kind of complex, interesting,
All right,
potentially
yeah.
sellable
Yeah, and
items. And you have to make 6 barricades.
Yeah, and I feel like it might send me into shock. It's awful. So what I'm doing at the moment is I've basically, every single one is just the end of a tub, because that's about the right, it's about triangle tall or whatever it is, circle tall and pentagon long. Then I'm going to cover them in wood so you can't see the plastic at all, to make it look like these just sort of wood barricades with these sort of like
egg box corners.
Yeah, which are going to be metal. So it's just bits of metal, bits of wood all cobbled together.
So you've got 4 hours. So where does that put us in terms of... Stop slurping on your microphone.
That's a fair point. I understand you're doing something incredibly ambitious with your junk build. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I started with my quiche tin, and I've left it quite a long time and done something else because I didn't know what to do with it. I've now randomly put 2 lids on top of each other and thought they look like shoulders and a bit of a neck, so I'm trying to make some sort of statue.
So you're trying to sculpt a face out of an egg carton.
Well, I don't know about a face, but I've got some
the level
sort
of fidelity I'm expecting here is massive.
I might be able to paint a smiley face on it. But,
And so as we entered the final stretch, the builders added their finishing touches. Alan went for a splash of colour on his tower. Graham added some weathering effect to a loose piece of masking tape. And I waited in vain for the heaps of PVA to dry on my piece of crap barricades under the bathroom heater. Speaking of drying problems, Chris was having a few of his own.
So we discovered that the polyfiller doesn't dry very well if you glob it on, so it's still a little bit squishy. So I didn't really want to do that on the rest of them and then make them unusable.
Hayden, on the other hand, was continuing his long tradition of applying spray paint to unconventional substances. We were finally seeing the gold go onto his statue, made out of bottle caps, an egg carton, masking tape, a quiche tin, and bubble wrap.
it's not gone that well.
1.5 hours to go until the end of the challenge. I'm here to see if my PVA is dried. Oh no!
I didn't have long to worry about this though, because I was told that Graham had an important development to share.
I mean, you've got something to present, have you?
I do, yeah. Because obviously, as you know, I'm trying to make a factory. I've tried to create some artwork which would be inspiring for people working at the factory.
Okay.
And I've combined that with my knowledge of Thousand Sons lore, and I've
Okay, so the Thousand Sons
yes.
have painted a mural for the workers at the factory.
Yes, they have.
Did the Thousand Sons build the factory?
Oh, there's no time for all these questions to us. I think. But
so is this freehanding? Are you about to show me some freehanding?
Yeah, this is some freehand work, and this is from the Thousand Sons lore, probably.
Okay, great.
So.
Right, so it's Arrowman.
Yep.
It just says me. It's so good. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's amazing. You've just upped the ante. What do they make at this factory?
Products.
Are you crying, Graham?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It's just so moving.
And the great thing is, you know, if you want to transport this piece of terrain,
exactly.
you just lift the handle.
Oh yeah.
Unpainted underneath. Look how much paint's gone on. There's like a millimetre of it that's just stuck around the handle.
Just to reveal my secrets.
After all that excitement, we got back to work, and I felt it was about time to put the builders' projects through their paces, with one aspect in particular having been on my mind for some time now.
This is something you don't hear often in hobby videos, but there's a lot of very interesting tactile sensations. These are a lot of very sensual builds. I'm going to subject everyone's terrain to a poke test. Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. We've got sort of spray painted tape here. Moving on to Hayden's, we've got this. The penis statue, and I mean this is just spray painted bubble wrap, so you can see that moving around there. Chris, we're going to subject your craters to the poke test. See how it's still a bit soft. Yeah, still quite soft, but everything. I mean this looks like it should be weak as fuck, but if I give it a bit of a poke, it's firm. That's sturdy.
It's not stable. The base is warped, but
No.
otherwise, you know.
Yeah, it's a don't poke that bit. Graham's. So Graham, obviously, we've got the bits of tape hanging down. That's perfectly stable, basically, because it's one piece. I think Graham is a pro at making terrain pieces out of a single component, and therefore they're pretty sturdy. Poke test complete. Congratulations, everyone. Okay, guys, it is time to panic. You have 1 hour remaining.
That warning was no problem for Graham, who was content that he had finalised his build. Chris shared no such confidence. Continuing the trend of freehanding, he decided to dabble in a little of his own. Chris had gone all in on the Orky iconography, a crowd-pleasing tactic that would surely play well in the equally cutthroat worlds of Zorpy Judgment and the free market. Those players still working continued to add their finishing touches, until finally, after 8 hours of work...
10 seconds.
Okay.
10, 9, 8. Is no one else going to join it?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step away from the build, comply. Thank you.
Well done, everyone.
Hey, 8 hours of building done.
8 hours of just intense creativity.
I was wondering how that sentence was going to end.
After this, the guys enjoyed a quick break and prepared to each record a video tour of their boards to submit for judgment.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the moment has come. Time to pop on the cans, check out these videos, and let the... Fuck that hurt, and let the judging begin.
First on the judging block was Chris's Orc settlement, which he titled
Worcester, of the county of Worcestershire.
This is fantastic. What a start.
First, we've got the War banner.
Ah, some serious Dawn of War vibes.
For any fans of Dawn of War out there, should recognise the shape of it.
Yeah.
Next over here, we've got a sort of scaffoldy thing that the Orcs built.
Very orky. That's great.
Basically, I made it because I wanted a bit more verticality in the on the board.
Verticality, right, that's like a big tick.
The Soup Tower. I've actually had this in mind for quite a long time, like before before coming to the weekend. I like the idea of the Orcs just having just a massive vat of soup that they like throw whatever into the top. So like, you know, squigs, skulls, bits of humans, bits of each other, whatever.
This is a high bar. This is a big start.
Next, there's this barricade here that I decided to build. This was the first thing I built. There's a telegraph pole here. I decided to build that because I've been looking at one all weekend.
You know, for all the telegraphs that Orcs get. That's awesome.
And then we have the Orc bunker / barracks, / house / whatever they want it to be, because they're Orcs. And yeah, so that's my board.
So, Worcester of the county of Worcestershire. Chris has put in a strong start here. We've got a really nice unified aesthetic. There's, you know, a gorgeous kind of colour palette going on. I love the red and grey. Very orky. Nicely orcified. It's got a cohesive theme. Lovely bits of scatter terrain. Yeah, this is pretty sweet for 8 hours work. I love the Dawn of War reference. I love the flexibility of verticality. We had a big Zorpazorp buzzword in there. This is definitely a strong start. Picking a score out of 10 for all of these builds is tricky for the first one because I don't really know where the others are. So I'm gonna go for a strong 7 to begin with. That gives me room up and down depending on the rest. But yeah, nice quality of finish for the speed build. This is actually really surprising. I hope the others are to this standard. Good work, guys.
Next was Hayden's memorial, which immortalised a quiche of ages past, which he insisted on calling
Amon Wolfsburg.
Bar set high for board number 1. Let's check out what we've got for build number 2.
We've got a bit of an eclectic mix here from the different materials I used to build it. So let's start over here. So we've got a nice tunnel here.
Ooh, I like the rust.
We've got a bit of a...
Solar panels?
Sorry. We've got some crudely fixed metal sheets.
They do look like solar panels. That looks like Amon Hen.
Over here we've got Amon Hen.
It is 40k Amon Hen.
Clearly full points. Bonus points for Amon Hen.
It's a crudely made structure, just as how I imagine that the Space Wolves would construct something with a
You don't know the first thing about them, do you?
It'd be cool to have a bit of like verticality.
Verticality. There we go. These guys have read the dock points.
Opposite the perhaps most controversial piece of terrain.
Right. This fountain thing. What is that?
I think the point is that the Space Wolves, I like to think that they've kind of conquered this planet and built their altar in the remnants of whatever planet this has come from, and they've created...
Thank God they had their altar shipped in bubble wrap to keep it safe.
So, Hayden's Amon Wolfsburg. Once again, we've got theme here, right? These big theme points. It's clearly a Space Wolf board. There's some Space Wolf colours. I would have liked to see some wolf iconography, but you know, there's Space Wolf colour palette at least. I really love the rusty metalwork. I think that piece is really cool, the kind of tunnel. There's good verticality. I don't know what's going on with that fountain. It's definitely an interesting altar to the weird for the Space Wolves, but it's solid. There's some good scatter elements with the blocks of that just looks like spray painted foam, I think, which has got like that kind of melted texture to get a bit of a concretey look. So there's some cool scratch building techniques on display here, yeah, this would be a fun little board for some kill teams. So I think if the Orc bill was 7, I'm going to put this in at a 5, which feels a bit harsh now. Maybe I should have put the 7 a bit higher, so this could have been like a 7 or an 8. But that's where we are. So this is a 5. Let's see what board number 3 has got for us. Good work, Hayden.
Next was Alan's industrial board, the originally Imperial and now cult-infested
Mining Complex Alpha 26.
Oh.
We'll start off with the first piece, which is the concrete outlook post, gun emplacement, anything like that.
Oh, look at that little bird's nest.
The 2 generator points. We've got the building here with the vats, and the one over there with the water tower on the top.
This is awesome. I really like this. This is a cool aesthetic. This is very much my kind of board.
What is probably some kind of silo that they've just ramshackled together and made another vantage point out of. Again, it's just a bit of verticality, a bit of flavour.
Have these people been given a brief to talk about verticality?
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
This is a really cool build. I actually really like this. This is going to challenge my scoring system a bit. The color palette's awesome. I love the kind of urban-y landscape. Alan's done the great work of not just making everything grey. There's some browns in there. There's, you know, the big mix of kind of neutral tones with especially like a nice key pop of that kind of yellowy brown silo. So I really like that. So I love the scratch-built-y kind of element going up around the silo, the fortifications, the wonky tower with the chain detail. This is very cool. I'd say this is right on par with the Orc one. I think we've got a pair of 7s here. So good work, Alan. That is another 7 out of 10 for you. A lovely little bit of scratch building. Nice work.
And lastly, it was time for Graham's nightmarish Tzeentchian hellscape,
The Factory.
We're really into this big brown and grey aesthetic with this board.
Over here we have a building of some description.
Ah, yes, the old Half Moon Bunker, a staple of 40k gaming boards.
And over here we have, on top of literally just a box, we've got a small ladder here, so your troops can get up and then move along onto this walkway.
I love the walkways. I don't love the masking tape.
Which leads onto the central piece, the mega cool factory. We've got a nice little welcome sign here, along with a couple of silos at the back, and then further up the dilapidated walkway of the abandoned factory, we have the tin. Of course, in true Tzeentch fashion, we've got some graffiti, which Thousand Suns are obviously famous for.
These are some important propaganda, important motivational slogans from the Thousand Suns.
And over here we have a water tower with obviously "Do Work" written across it, and then which leads us finally down here to the smokestacks, just to add a bit of je ne sais quoi to the
It's good. I like it. It's really cool. The masking tape is weird. Presumably it's part of how it was joined together, but aside from that, it's got a nice aesthetic. I don't think it quite has the quality of finish of our 2.7, so it's not going to be pipping them at the post. The big decision is where it sits in relation to the Space Wolf board. Yeah, so I think when I put them side by side, something about the aesthetic of that kind of grimdark grey metallic-y factory element with the brown kickers, I think it just pushes above the wonderful phallic statue and Amon Hen tipping point. So I think that's pushed it across the line. So we're looking at a solid 6 out of 10 for the factory. Great stuff, guys. I'm excited to see how much they go for on eBay. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Zorp. So, there we have it. However, even Zorp's Divine Majesty only carries 1/3 of the points total value in this tournament, and so there is still all to play for to determine the final winner. And part of that is on you, the consumer, because for the week after this video goes live, so that will be until Sunday, the 12th of September, these lots will all be on eBay. All the links are in the description. Each bid starts at 99p without reserve. Final sale amount, less postage and fees from all 4 of the lots will be pulled together, and that will be the winnings for the tournament. Final thing, if you do end up buying one of the lots, then either message me on eBay or comment on this video, and if yours ended up selling for the most, then I will throw in a bag of Battle Camper dice. So thanks so very much for watching, and of course to Zorp for giving up his time. I really hope you stop back for the second half of the competition, which will be uploaded 2 weeks from today.